Once children have mastered letter names and sounds, there are 4 components to becoming a proficient reader. The first is having a strong oral vocabulary. The second is having enough knowledge of the world to give context to what the pupil is reading. The third is being able to read a passage fluently, and the fourth is being able to comprehend that passage. These are all interrelated, and during the course of the year with your pupil, you will help them build these skills. The skill we would like you to focus on with your pupil is fluency. Fluency is the ability to read a passage with reasonable speed and expression so that it sounds natural. When reading fluently, the pupil doesn't need to expend too much processing power on a particular word and can think about the story in its totality. The key skill a pupil will need in order to read fluently is called word attack. Word attack is learning how to read words that are not easily read by sight. For these words, the pupil needs to have some form of phonics-based strategy in order to sound out the word. As we covered in the introduction, children in UK schools are taught to read using a system called phonics. Phonics focuses on the sounds of letters in a word rather than their alphabet names, as it's easier for children to understand. Remember that the children you're supporting will be using specific vocabulary in the classroom to help them identify parts of words, and that if you're able to use some of this vocabulary too, that can help to guide them. We've included a background document with links to explanatory videos about phonics and a glossary of terms in the resource section of Tutor Portal. Let's look at a simple sentence. I have a plan. The pupil will likely know the first 3 words by sight. However, the last word, plan, the pupil is unlikely to know by sight. In order to understand the sentence, the pupil will need to know some kind of phonics strategy to sound out the word. The word attack strategy that is used in all English primary schools is for children to sound out p, l, a, n, using single sounds or phonemes and then blend them to read the word. So, when a pupil comes across a difficult word, encourage them to use their phonic knowledge and blend the phonemes together to read the word. Some pupils struggle to remember when to use which sound for a letter, so be patient with them and encourage them to experiment when a word that they're reading does not sound right in context. While we want pupils to give the word a try, we don't want them to dwell too long on a word that they just can't seem to identify. Ask your pupil to continue reading the sentence and return to the difficult word after finishing the story. There may be a cue in the story that will help the pupil identify the word. As you read stories with your pupil, you will notice that words in the story are colour-coded. These words are colour-coded in your view only. Words are colour-coded to indicate sight words and words that conform to standard phonics or phoneme blending patterns. Sight words, indicated in red, are words that appear frequently in Year 1 texts. Pupils should learn to read these words by sight and not spend time trying to sound out the word. If a pupil struggles with one of these words, help them sound out the word by using the blending technique. Initially, many pupils chosen to participate in TutorMate may struggle from a lack of confidence, and you may encounter children who are very shy and hesitant to read out loud. Some may appear to be uninterested, others may be easily distracted, and some may even tell you they don't want to read. Please stick with them and offer them encouragement and praise. It may be that you need to read with your pupil for less than 30 minutes to start with to build up their concentration. You might want to take turns reading if they struggle and get them to spot any mistakes that you make. Our monthly newsletters will also offer you a variety of tips and tricks to use as the year progresses.